Many people have enjoyed, and of course are still enjoying, Player Unknown's Battlegrounds, and I haven't checked it out myself, but I have been meaning to, but I haven't just got round to it because, well, there's so many games to play, and in all honesty, I prefer most of the time to wait for a game to actually be finished and released before I play it, unless it's for review. But unfortunately, there has been a little bit of controversy surrounding this game due to the addition of microtransaction cosmetics. Now, before I get into all of that, let's deal with the backstory, because you're going to be saying, well, it doesn't sound too bad, they're adding cosmetics. Well, basically, this is for Gamescom, to raise money for Gamescom, and I will include their Steam post in the description and the pinned comment below, but ostensibly, they're running their first offline invitational. And basically, they've implemented a key and crate system, where you can use battle points to buy a crate on the rewards page. And both the Wanderer and Survivor crate will be free to open. The Gamescom Invitational can be opened with a key that costs $2.50 each. And basically they're going to be using the proceeds to not only support a selection of charities, but also to provide funds needed to organise the event, and also to go towards the prize pool for the Invitational winners. And they're saying on the Steam page at least that on August 27th the Invitational crate will be removed from the game, and then they'll be returning to the free-to-open system. However, there was another Reddit post on the Player Unknown's Battlegrounds subreddit, which of course I will also include in the description and the pinned comments, which basically hints at the fact that when they move to full release, there probably won't be free crates anymore. Now, again, this is one post, and it's saying probably won't be free crates anymore. But there's more controversy than just, oh, okay, so the free cosmetics are not even going to be available anymore. And for those of you who played the game, you might wonder, well, okay, what am I using my battle points for then? Well, you can still use those to buy the crates, but if they stick with this key and crate system, it will be the keys needed to open them that will be real money. So obviously people are a little bit upset that basically it seems like the crates won't be free anymore at all after the actual release of the game. But the main issue is that in their early access FAQ, they have said that they're only going to be having microtransactions for purely cosmetic items, and only after early access. So combine that with the statement that the intent is for all cosmetic to be paid and crate drops to no longer be free on release, you can kind of see where those two things combined have left a rather bitter taste in people's mouths and have caused a bit of a stir in the community. Now, a lot of people are obviously upset that they've broken a promise and of course going to be removing this free content in the future, but also they're wondering, okay, so you need funds for this tournament, it's invitational, and yet all we've seen in the news lately is how much money this game's making. So obviously people are wondering where the money has gone. Now obviously you've got to pay the staff, you've got to pay the bills in the office you have, all that sort of stuff. But even with all that in mind, and obviously the fact that they do have to give Valve a cut of everything that they make, it does still seem a bit head-scratchy that they need funds for a invitational when they've been making money hand over fist. And again, let's go back to the fact that they're going to be changing the model when the game releases. I don't think that's surprising in itself. It's the way they're doing it. You know, perhaps they could have switched to like a more Overwatch kind of method where, you know, you still earn them, but, you know, you can buy them, or perhaps they would have gone to, hey, you can only buy these with battle points or whatever, or you can buy the key to make it faster. You know, there are numerous ways they could have done this that wouldn't have felt like A, breaking a promise, and B, you know, kind of screwing their players over after they've already made millions of dollars for an invitational that a lot of them probably don't care about. And again, this is purely taken from people's responses on the subreddit, and the response has been mixed, as with anything regarding microtransactions. There are a lot of people shrugging and going, meh, it's fine. But the issue here isn't really the microtransactions, because they are purely cosmetic. It's more the implementation and the fact that they've broken a promise. Now, this is hardly the first game to have done this, but that still doesn't change the fact that you should feel slighted by this. You should feel like, hey, you're trying to pull a fast one on me, and for reasons that seem a bit puzzling given how much money this game has been making and probably will continue to make as they move towards release. And of course there is the issue that the key and crate method is a pretty anti-consumer way of distributing content. Like if you want to do skins or whatever like they do in Overwatch, cool, have them earnable for a play or buyable just like Blizzard do, fine. There's no issue with that. You know, the implementation is everything, of course, but the base idea of that, fine. But this, where you buy the crate with your battle points or whatever, and then you have to buy a key to actually open the damn thing, is fairly anti-consumer in my opinion, and that is of course the real crux of the matter. There are several sort of branches to this tree, as it were, and of course it is a fairly complex issue, but I feel the two main cruxes of this are the breaking of the promise and of course the rather, in my opinion, anti-consumer nature of it all. Of course, you're free to disagree with me, free to let me know why you disagree in the comments, but you can also look at the various links that I provided to form your own opinion and decide exactly how you feel about the whole thing. Obviously, as with anything this controversial, opinions are going to be mixed. But I still think it's important to talk about these things, talk about why it's anti-consumer, and I feel like I've explained that. It should be fairly obvious why this is anti-consumer in my opinion. And the fact that we've kind of gone through this before with Payday 2 is not brilliant, and obviously the game has gotten really, really popular, and perhaps the developers are getting a little bit blinded by that, perhaps not. Perhaps they didn't realise the backlash this would cause. This is a game that has blown up way outside of most people's expectations, I would assume, so perhaps it's just that in play. I'm not saying they're the devil, that's all I'm saying. I'm just saying that, look, this isn't cool. I've explained, I think, fairly clearly why it isn't cool, and I think you should definitely assess how you're going to implement your crates in the future, and I do not think this is the correct way to do it, to be honest. But, again, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, as always, guys. I'll see you next time.